So when we're at university, it can be really easy to start using more and more technical words or fancier words because that's what we're exposed to, both from our lecturers and from reading lots of journal articles. But that doesn't mean that they're the best words for us to use in our assessments. So let's talk about why the complex words in your assignments are costing you marks. And then I'm going to give you some examples of complex words and some better alternatives that you can use so you can substitute them straight away into your writing and solve the problem. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a special tool that you can use where you can copy and paste your work straight into it, hit the button, and it will tell you how complicated your words are, and it will highlight the ones that you should change. The more complicated a word is, the harder it is for somebody to understand. For example, if you were having a conversation with a friend, you would never use the word furthermore or foremost. You would use simple words to communicate what you're trying to say to them. Otherwise, they'd be looking at you strangely going, what on earth are you talking about? And why are you talking like that? The same applies to your writing. So if you want your writing to be read and to be understood, then you want to use simple words. Now, here's the big key factor for your marks and why that affects it, because you would think at university that maybe lecturers want to see complicated words. They don't. When lecturers mark work, they often have 10 minutes or less per student per assessment. So if they get this massive essay, scientific report, literature review, whatever it is, they are not reading every single word of every single sentence and every single paragraph carefully, looking at the structure and so on. They are skim reading. So the easier it is for them to find the information they need from your assessment, the easier and faster it is for them to give you a great mark. Think about it like a maths problem. When you work through a math problem, at the end you put the equal sign and you put the answer to make it very clear what the answer is. Maybe you put a box around it, maybe you highlight it, but that way the person marking your work can clearly see what your answer is. Then they can go back and see more information if they need of how you got to that answer. The same actually applies to your written assessments. Your lecturers want to be able to see clearly your answer within that text, and the easiest way for that to happen is by using simple words. That's it. The great thing here is that the simpler words are also easier to write. So let's go through some complicated words and some simple alternatives that you can substitute straight in. For example, instead of using the word predominantly, you could use mostly. Exhibit or demonstrate, you can use the word show. Magnitude, you can use the word size, unless you're talking about the magnitude of an earthquake, in which case you stick with that word. I want to show you a tool now to speed up this process for you. This is called the Gunning-Fogg Index. The Gunning-Fogg Index is a readability formula. So it's going to look at your work and then tell you how readable it is. Like, how easy is it for other people to understand it? And it will do that by giving you a number score. And in most cases, you're going to get a number that's less than 20. And that's good because a score of 20 or over is somebody with a PhD, essentially. So your work would need somebody with a PhD to be able to understand it. And that is definitely not what we want for our assessments or for anything else, like our emails, our text messages, nothing. We don't want that level. It's generally recommended that your assessments have an index number of 12 or less. So let's have a look at how that Fogg index works now. I'll drop the URL in the description of the video down below so you can just access it. So let's copy and paste some information just from a journal article. Here's one on the global impact of Brexit uncertainty. And we're just going to paste it straight in. And then you just press calculate. So it's given us a Gunning-Fogg index of 14.14, which is far higher than what we want. It then tells us the number of major punctuation marks, the number of words was 203, and the number of 3+ syllable words was 46. So it's saying that we have 46 long words out of 203, which is quite high. And then if you come down, it highlights it for you in blue, which makes it really easy to spot. So what you can do is just skim this, have a look at those blue highlights and see if you want to change any. Sometimes you won't be able to change them. For example, the word European, you're not going to change that in this text. Or referendum, you're not going to change that because it's technically correct. But you can see here there's things like demonstrate, illustrate. Well, we can use the word show instead. And then bring that index score down to 12. So you can go and make your changes and then come back and just select new scoring, and that will just refresh the page for you, and you can paste it back in and then recalculate your Fogg index. This is the easiest and fastest way to edit your assessments once you've finished writing them, and make sure that you get a better mark. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe so you get to see more.